Yes guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. We've got another transfer targets video today. A lot of talk going on the last week since the last one of these I did on Monday. More talk on Harry Kane today, as well as the recent news about Jack Grealish, potentially a move away from the Metro, as well as apparently Rhys James appearing on Man City's wish list. Before we do get into today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Massively helps the channel out. Let's try and hit 100 likes on today's video if we can. Also, massive shout out to the sponsors of today's video, One Football. Make sure to go and check them out. The link is at the top of the description. It is an app completely free. It gives you all the football news you need. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest City transfer news, you can literally download the app, make City your favourite team, and you'll get loads of different little articles on the transfer news. You can do this for whatever team you support if you don't support City. Not only this, you can keep up to date with all the Euro 2020 action by just turning notifications on for the Euros, and you can look at all the latest stats and you can get notifications for all the goals. It's a great app. I have it. I use it for all my transfer updates. But yeah, it's really, really good. Make sure to download it. It's completely free, as I said. Link is at the top of the description. Anyway then, on to the transfer news, and we start off today with Villa star boy Jack Grealish. The news broke out yesterday that City were preparing £100 million after for Jack Grealish, with City having strong interest supposedly. City are said to be moving after Jack Grealish from after the Euro 2020 is finished, which could be as of Tuesday if England get knocked out to Germany, which is very, very likely. So yeah, the talk is that will start to have movement on it after England get knocked out. It would be a British transfer record, just like the Kane deal, if it is 100 million, and there's no way we're getting it for any less. I think it could be more than 100 million, to be honest, with last summer Villa saying they wanted 100 million for Grealish, and he's probably added more to his price tag since then. There's still been no official contact between Villa and City as of so far. Villa have also supposedly opened contract talks with Jack Grealish to try and convince him to stay. I'm not sure if this is really going to have too much of an impact on the deal though. Yesterday, words such as good as done were used. I'm not sure it is quite this advanced, but their talk is yesterday that was coming out is that this deal is looking very, very likely. Fabrizio Romano so far has said nothing is advanced or agreed yet between the two clubs, which is as expected. The talk is, I think, from what we've got so far, that nothing really will come of this until Euro 2020 is done, and at that point we'll start to see movement on both Grealish and Kane. And so yeah, as of today, no talks have been held, although it is confirmed City do have strong interest. Personally, Grealish, I think this is a great signing. I do think it really, really does show that one of Bernardo or Sterling is almost certainly leaving. If it is Bernardo leaving, I'm not too keen on this transfer if that's this seen as a replacement, or if Bernardo's leaving anyway, he is a good replacement for Bernardo. But if it was one or the other, I'd still probably have Bernardo. I think Grealish is great. He had a great year last year at Villa. You could see the massive drop-off in form for Aston Villa last year. The second he got injured at the end of the season, Villa's performances and form just absolutely dropped off a cliff. He's clearly a quality player. Under Guardiola, he'd absolutely flourish. He said many times he wants to play with Kevin De Bruyne. He admires him massively, always talking about him. So yeah, I think that duo would be great. I think a front three of whatever striker we get, plus Grealish, Foden, and then you've got Moura in and about there, you've got De Bruyne in and about there. It would be such an exciting team, and he's such an exciting player, and I do think he'd fit into our team very, very well. What would say this matter though is if they do reject this £100 million offer that it sounds like we're going to be putting in once the Euros is over, I hope we don't go over 100 million if they say no. I do think Grealish is a great player, but 100 million is enough as it is. I think going over that is just a little bit excessive, to be honest. I do think this transfer will happen though. I'm going to put it bang in light blue at the moment. I don't think it's quite enough to be edged into white. I don't think we're quite that far into advanced talks. But from the sound of it yesterday, the way this news is blown up, it sounds like it's a concrete interest. It sounds like we are going to pursue Grealish. And so I do think this one is probably going to happen. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to put it in the light blue transfer section. Next up on the list, we have got Harry Kane. And on this front, there has not been too much movement since Monday, in all honesty. City are interested, even if we do go and sign Grealish, that is confirmed. However, the board does see the signings of both Grealish and Kane in one window as complicated, was the words used. Kane is still priority, however, regardless if we sign Grealish, Kane is the number one target. The striker is the main issue that we seem to be after sorting this summer. Like Grealish, this would also be a transfer record, and they've rejected 100 million already. You've got to imagine this fee will end up being significantly more. I see it being around 150 million if Kane is to become a Manchester City player this summer. Spurs did reject the opening bid, and it is very likely that if this deal is going to happen, we're going to need some sort of exchange, whether it's Gabriel Jesus or Raheem Sterling or Laporte or Moura going the other way. Although I can't see, the likes of Sterling have apparently already said they're not interested in it, which doesn't surprise me. Sterling's far better than the level of Tottenham. I don't know why anyone would want to go to Tottenham right now. They're a club that's poor. They've not got too much money, although obviously Kane would kind of sort that out. And they've got no manager still, and we're nearly at pre-season. Stuart Brennan has said he works for Manchester Evening News, and he has said City will walk away from the deal if Spurs fail to keep expectations realistic, which could potentially halt the deal slightly. Obviously, Levy's not exactly the most realistic of bargaining businessmen, so there's every chance. Spurs have got no real need to sell him as of yet unless he starts forcing his way out. He does still have 3 years left in his deal, so we'll have to wait and see on this one. I don't want us to spend over 120 on him, although I can kind of see us going to 150, to be honest. I do think he will be a City player, though, come the end of this summer transfer window. And as a result, I'm putting him right on the brink of light blue and white. I think he's slightly more realistic than Grealish, simply because I think he's higher on the target list. And I do think that, like I've said earlier, he is our #1 priority this summer. The third transfer I'm talking about, this one's slightly less important. It is Lucas Nemecha, the City German striker, 22 years old, came through the academy with brother Felix. And the talk is Nemecha could be offered to RB Leipzig, which I think would be a great move for him. He had a great year on loan last year at Anderlecht. He also had a brilliant Euro under-21s, where I think he was top goal scorer, from what I'm saying. But yeah, I think he also won that with Germany. It is said that Leipzig believe that they are ahead of the queue. And yeah, I think this would be a great sign, and Leipzig is the right sort of level of club, especially if he's getting games on there. European football, that is a very decent level for him to be playing at. The talk is the fee will be around 8.5 million for Nemecha, which I think would be very decent for an academy player that's never played a senior minute of football for Manchester City, as far as I'm aware. 8.5 million will go very nicely, and as we do this with more and more of these sort of CFG academy players, this will start to build up to sort of 70 or 80 million we're expecting this summer. I'm putting this transfer on the light blue, white sort of border, like Harry Kane. Nemecha might not end up at Leipzig this summer, although I'm very confident Nemecha will not still be a Manchester City player come the end of the transfer window. Final transfer to talk about in today's video, Rhys James. This one is such a strange one. It came out today from The Athletic that apparently Rhys James is on Manchester City's wish list. Personally, I don't see the transfer and it's the need for it. We've got right backs in Cancelo and Kyle Walker. We don't need him. He can technically play centre back and a back three. We don't play a back three. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think this is a load of paper talk. I don't think there's any truth in this whatsoever, but I'm going to go over it anyway. Chelsea apparently say he's not for sale, and rightly so. He's a very good academy player from them. Very good right back that I'm sure will be in their team for many years to come. Like I said, I think this is just paper talk, and as a result, I'm putting this right on the edge of dark blue. I cannot see this happening. Anyway, that's all for me today. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also make sure to check out One Football, like I said at the start. The link for them is at the top of the description. Leave in the comments what your thoughts on Grealish and Kane are. Do you think one of them will be a City player come the end? Do you think none of them will, or do you think both of them will? I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Anyway, that is all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.